In 1963, with no scarlet red Ferraris present, Jim Clark sped to victory in the first ever Grand Prix held at Imola. However, it would be another 4 years before Colin Chapman's protege got his hands on the all-conquering Lotus 49. Thanks to sim racing, this incredible car and track remain immortalised for racers all over the world to enjoy. Welcome to Grand Prix Legends, live from Imola. I'm Peter Mackay and I'm privileged to be joined in the booth by my fellow Speedy Scot, Ryan Walker. Behind the scenes is our director, Sean Ambrose, using cameras provided by Dougie Beard. Now, Imola is not the easiest circuit in Europe, and here is a handy GSRC track guide to show you the right way around.
Welcome to the Autodromo Internazionale Enzo e Dino Ferrari, but most race fans know this place as simply Imola. This circuit in the northern part of Italy has seen some of the highest highs and lowest lows in motorsports history. The various tragedies that have marred the track left no choice but to alter it in the name of safety. While it originally featured mostly fast, sweeping corners, its modern 3-mile or 5-kilometer version is punctuated by tricky chicanes and incredibly technical turns. iRacing includes the Grand Prix layout and a moto version, which adds one more chicane to the front stretch. Tamburello is perhaps the most notorious of the corners for claiming the life of multi-time world champion Ayrton Senna when it was still a single breathtaking turn. Now the Triple Apexer not only offers potential passing opportunities, but catches out drivers quite frequently. While heavy braking zones are everywhere, because few places allow the cars to get up to speed, overtaking is generally seen as an exercise in frustration. As if to almost counteract this quality, the track itself is situated in a gorgeous public park and sends the drivers through the beautifully calming Italian countryside. It also includes a fair bit of elevation change in which the track is split between the higher up back half and the lower first portion. It's no wonder that this place still proves popular with drivers and fans in spite of its difficulties in history. The Tifosi keep returning each and every time the sound of engines roar among the trees, and who can blame them?
So there you are then. There is a handy guide around this very fickle and tricky Imola circuit. Now, Ryan, pleasure to be here commentating with you. It's an all-Scottish lineup today, but I need to rely on your wisdom now. Tell us what the nature of this circuit is all about and the challenges that the drivers are going to face today.
Yeah, absolutely. Pleasure to be commentating alongside another Scot such as yourself, Peter. Some information about the track. It's 3.5 miles in length, has 17 turns, and a bit of history about the track as well. It's hosted a whole range of series in the past, but it's also been famous for hosting the Formula 1 Grand Prix, formerly known as the San Marino Grand Prix. And apparently Formula 1 will be returning to the track later this year, apparently, so great news. But it has hosted the World Touring Car Championship, International GT Open, the TCR International Series, and the 24/8 Series. So a whole range of series are visited here in the past or recently. And a few key places to keep a lookout for as well is the home straight heading down to Turn 1 and also Turn 2. And then you've possibly got a passing place in Turn 5, which is Variante. And also you've got the run-up to the chicane, Turn 11, which is a Variante Alta. But the name of the game in this race today is going to be about timing your passes and being careful.
Indeed, it will be. So today we are expecting a 21-lap race from a standing start, and critically, the drivers have the freedom to set up these Lotus 49 machines exactly how they wish, and they are tricky machines to get dialed in. We're in the 5th round of the F1 Championship here in Grand Prix Legends. Ryan, why don't you take us through how the drivers are sitting in the points?
Yeah, absolutely. So at the moment, it's Nick Clara is currently leading the championship, but Rafael Dorado is pretty much the man on form at the moment, keeping him honest. And then in the standings, or in the championship standings, sorry, as my iRacing just crashed. But anyway, Dorado leads the championship for Yep, it's Dorado leading with Olenet second, Claridge in third, and then Owe Trengrade rounds out the top four with Alessandro Parigi in fifth place.
In the F2 Championship, Andre Schumacher leads by just 10 points from Yanni Linman. Paul Foster and John Vitrano are tied up in third, 21 points further back. Dave Cohen from the United States is 35 points back, and Jean Van Dorn, 38 points back. Ryan, how are they looking in the Nations Cup?
In the Nations Cup, it's Brazil leading at the moment with 180 points, with the United States in second, only 20 points behind, so it's all to play for and for the lead. And the United Kingdom is in third place with Norway in fourth and Italy in fifth, so still all close in the Nations Cup and yeah, all to play for.
Oh, and here we go. The drivers are out on the track, and this is, of course, the Lotus 49 is a car which we don't see massive amount during the week, but every Saturday afternoon it is race day here in Grand Prix Legends, and we have some. We have a couple of famous names in the field today, Ryan. One that you spotted was none other than Jamie Fluke, who drives for the Apex Racing team in the Porsche Cup, the Tank Heuer Porsche Esports Super Cup, and actually got on the podium in the final round at Monza. So he knows he knows how to pedal, as they say. But you know, you're the regular commentator here, Ryan, on this series. These cars, they have a nature all to their own, don't they?
Yeah, absolutely. And also with regards to Jamie Fluke, he has run in this series before. He ran I believe it was at Monza a couple of seasons ago with this car. So he's not a stranger to it. And at the moment, considering he's not raced the car that much, he's sitting in second place in qualifying at the moment. But pole position is Rafael Dorado with a 137.7. So Jamie Fluke, he's doing a good job, but he needs to gain a few more time.
So Rafael Dorado, wow, 0.8 of a second quicker as it stands. Looking at Mick Claridge on screen right now, and it's I tell you what, it never ceases to put a smile on my face, Ryan. Is when you see these cars, they're so expressive. You know, although you can't really see what the driver is doing, of course, but you see the car pitch and weave and duck under braking and under acceleration. There's so you can really tell how a driver is applying their inputs to the car.
Yeah, absolutely. It's one of my. I've done some laps on flying with the car, and I have to say, I agree with you. It's such a fun car to drive with, and it's one of those cars if you get it ever so wrong or try and fight it too much, so it does bite you, and you'll basically just spin round or hit the wall or whatever. But is around qualifying at the moment, and Owe Trengrade coming up to the line now, and it looks like he could possibly improve his lap time.
Oh, he does. A 138.439. Very impressive indeed. Puts him in second place, but wow, still 0.6 of a second from Dorado, who really is been on an absolute tear so far this season, Ryan.
Yeah, Rafael Dorado he's pretty much towards the end of last season he's improved massively, and at the moment it's shown in qualifying because he's sitting on the pole position ahead of his championship rival Mick Claridge, who pops up into second place.
Oh, so this is a statement of intent indeed, as we look at Rafael Dorado with a very eye-catching paint scheme on his Lotus 49. Looks like, I presume that's looks like Valvoline colours to me, the kind of white, blue and red. So let's get him over the line then. Let's see what he can do. He doesn't improve. So a 37.7 is his fastest. Now let's get Sebastian Tizier over the line. What does he do? 139.7. So improves and moves up a little bit further. Jamie Fluke now heading down into the really tricky left-hander of Ravazza. Look at that, nearly scraping the front nose on the ground and under braking. Tucks it in, does the Northern Irishman. Back on the power, loading up that Cosworth DFV engine. It sings down the front straight here. What can he do? He doesn't improve. So Jamie Fluke stays fifth, so he'll start in the middle of the leading pack. That's a dangerous spot to be in, heading down to Tamburello.
As I'm looking at Eugenio Massa coming around the final corner now, and it doesn't look like it looks like he might have just gotten off track or maybe just backed off slightly to start his qualifying lap, but I don't think we'll have time to complete it as he comes up to the line. We've only got about 14 seconds at the line, so he won't be able to finish it.
And going slow anyway, so let's get Osmar Schultz over the line, the Brazilian. What can he do? 142.8. He does improve by 0.6 of a second, so a personal best for him. Mick Claridge, what can he do? 138.2. Just missed it out. Okay, let's see how they line up then for this Grand Prix Legends contest at Autodromo Internazionale Enzo e Dino Ferrari. So, on pole position is Rafael Dorado, alongside championship rival Mick Claridge. On the second row will be Ove Trengeride alongside Nicola Cosci. Row 3 is Jamie Fluke and Mikko Lino. Row 4 will be Bill Tyler and Rob Olenezic. Row 5 will be Alessandro Parigi. And then 10th, Andre Schumacher. Ryan.
Starting on 11th is Togo Hasada, 12th is Sebastian Tixia, 13th is Finland's Marco Kika, Yuri Giesinen 14th, 15th is PJ Gowdy, another Scotsman, so good to see PJ out on the track today. Another Finnish driver, Jan Lehmann in 16th, is Paul Forster in 17th, 18th is Terry Worth, John Olsen 19th, and rounding at the 20 is John Van Dorn.
In 21st position is Eric Leukel alongside Laust Olsen, Michael Grisinger, Emanuele Pereira, Dave Cohen, Anthony Orbrotta, Andrew Eng, Randy Hoch, Osmar Schultz and Matthew Maudsley. And quickly Chris Hengler, Andrew Bruno, Paul Bird, Douglas Nelson, Colin Bentley, David Meyer, Eugenie Massa and Robert Reynolds round out a packed 38 car grid, sweeping all the way back to the final corner of Ravazza. We wait for the lights to go up and our drivers will release 400 horsepower from their 3-litre Cosworth DFV engines. Getting these cars off the line, not straightforward at all. No launch control back in 1967, that's for sure, but plenty of power from these naturally aspirated V8 engines. Here we go then. We wait for the revs to rise, and we will be go here at Imola. Lights are up. And we are green racing in Italy, and it's a good start from Dorado. He makes the lead down towards Tamburello. Can he defend the position from Claridge? He does. Claridge gets through cleanly. A good start from Jamie Fluke in the blue and pink car. Oh, what have you seen, Ryan?
Yeah, I was just looking in the background. Coach went flying in the air in turn 1 and yeah, just mayhem erupted.
Oh dear, that's not where you want to crash. It's such a bottleneck there, but Dorado gets away cleanly from Claridge, and Jamie Fluke from 5th on the grid, he's up to 3rd, so he's right in the fight for the lead in the early stages as they tuck around the closer hairpin.
Yeah, and it looks like apart from that issue in turn 1, it seems that everyone's been sensible so far, and yeah, like you said, Jamie Fluke had a brilliant start up into 3rd place, and he's right behind Mick Claridge and Rafael Dorado, but at the moment it's been cleanest so far.
Yep, and then they fly up towards Peratella and down towards the horribly difficult Acqua Minerale, which I believe in Italian directly translates to really difficult corner. Sorry, terrible gag there, folks. And then we go through the Alta chicane. Now this is a real danger point, particularly in these cars, Ryan.
Yeah, absolutely. The chicane, if you take it wrong, you can either get a slowdown or you can possibly get some damage, especially with these cars being so low to the ground. Just watching the cars right now, just under braking for the final couple of corners. Someone's off in the background.
Oh, goodness me, that was just a big lock up on the brakes there. We will get another look at that, folks, so don't worry, we will come back to it. But, well, Dorado, he gets off to the perfect start of his perfect season so far as he heads down towards Tamburello for the second time. But Mick Claridge is not letting it get away. Jamie Fluke right in the draft as well. And they sweep through Tamburello and down towards the Villeneuve chicane.
Yeah, rider on board from the rear of Rafael Dorado's car, just looking at Mick Claridge and Jamie Fluke. And it always seems to be the case in this series, Peter, that Mick Claridge sometimes seems to fall back, but towards the end of the race, he seems to be back in the action or back in the mix. He just seems to, I don't know if it's a setup thing or tyre pressures, maybe not suiting the track temperatures or conditions, but it seems to come back to him either way.
Well, he's looking in good position right now. So you could say he's the Maverick Vinales of Lotus 49 racing. That's a classic Maverick Vinales, yes. Tenuous MotoGP reference there for you folks, as Dorado comes out of Aquamina Rally and getting the power down there, so important. But tell you what, Jamie Fluke is looking racy. He's really filling the mirrors of Mick Claridge's Lotus 49 as they hop and skip. Oh, we've got somebody off, and that's Lino. Lino in the number 9 car makes a mistake going over the chicane. He'll have to serve a slow down penalty, so he drops back, but gets away with it relatively scot-free. So we look back to Jamie Fluke and Mick Claridge coming out of the final corner, and Trengeride really pushing hard there. You see this Lotus 49 wiggle under power, looking up at the visor of Mick Claridge, and meanwhile Dorado just putting in the fast lap, and we've got a slow car up in front. We've got a lapped car to contend with.
Yeah, the back marker. It looks like it's Robert Reynolds by the look of it, and yeah, as the top three are relatively close together, and Dorado is under pressure now from Mick Claridge, and at one point it looked like Dorado was building up a bit of a gap, but Mick Claridge has managed to reel that back in as they come up to the hairpin now, and the top three close together. And I have to agree, Peter, Jamie Fluke is looking really racy at the moment.
Indeed, yep, he'll be pretty sharp. Of course, the last about 2 or 3 months been racing every Saturday in the Tag Heuer Porsche Esports Super Cup, which is at the very highest level of sim racing. And well, he's obviously racecraft is nice and sharp, but there is nothing like driving a Lotus 49. But he's right in there with the very best of them. But tell you what, this lap car, the number 4 car of Rob Olesniak, is going to cause a bit of an issue. Olesniak, my apologies for pronunciation there. The first of many, I'm sorry to say. But Dorado, this could... Oh, what do you think, Ryan? It's going to be tricky. Do you think maybe, hopefully, he'll get let by on the front straight here?
Well, I think if I was Dorado, I would be getting slightly frustrated that maybe felt I was being held up in a way as a
oh my god,
dived into the pitch. That was close.
Okay, so we're going to have a look back at the start, and this maybe explain why Rob is sitting a lap down. So here we go then. So here we are. Here's a replay of the start. Rado at the front, Claridge in second. So Nicola Cocci, who has a bit of an issue going into the Tamburello chicane. There he is with the yellow and black check on the front of the car. Oh, and he gets a big help and gets whirled around, and just so unlucky, Ryan, and very much a characteristic of the Tamburello chicane. It's so easy to get involved in an incident like that. And so for Rob, he's got the same, waiting for it. Oh, he got through, so it must have happened at another time for Rob in the number 4 machine. So I mean, with 38 cars on the grid, it's a huge pack, but Rob pulls off, so there's something happened. So back at the front then, we're looking at the number 6 of Trengeride, and he is now making this a 4-car fight for the lead. He's right on the case of Jamie Fluke in this blue and pink coloured car, the number 2 machine, with the blue peaked cap and goggles. I have to say that they, although they are, well, you'd be better putting a paper bag over your head for protection, but they do look cool, Ryan.
Yeah, absolutely. And yeah, Trengride's managed to close these top 3 cars in front of him down, and at the moment it looks like it's going to be a 4-car battle as it stands, and riding on board will be Trengride in turn 1 and turn 2. And yeah, Trengride is one of those drivers that he likes to set the car up to be very, very oversteer or pointy, if you like. Sometimes it seems to work for him, other times it seems to bite him. So over Trengride, they kind of proven, I guess, in a way that he likes to give a bit of the old Scandinavian flip.
I was about to say, the fact that he's Scandinavian, it does not surprise me that he likes a car moving underneath him. A bit of a national sport, oversteer in Scandinavia. But looks like, well, it looks to me like Rafael Dorado, he said, right, I've had enough, you've had your chance, guys, I am off. And he is just in the last lap or two, has really stretched that gap to sitting at about 1.5 seconds right now. But 16 laps to go here at Imola. There is pitfalls around every single corner, and he'll need full concentration to avoid even the slightest mistake. Okay, so we're looking back at the battle for P8 between Prix and Quesada. Look at this big train here. Goodness me. All in the draft here, and this is where you've got to be so smart, because getting involved, very easy to get involved in an incident here. You don't have quite the same vision, especially if you're in the middle of the pack. But you do, if you maybe feel like you're not quite got the pace of the guys around you, you can kind of hide in a pack as well. So this would be fascinating to see. This is the battle for 10th place, actually. As looks like, look at this, Jamie Fluke putting in the fastest lap of the race, a 138.189. That's 2/10 quicker than Dorado's best.
Oh,
Claridge is in the wall.
What on earth happened there?
What did you see here, Ryan?
Yeah, I was just about to come back to look at the battle, and into turn one, it looks like Claridge went on the curb, and it's going to be Jamie Fluke.
Oh, and he gets a help again. He made big contact as well with Trengaride. So Trengaride, let's get a look on board Ove Trengaride's Lotus 49. So, not really good. That's so unlucky for both, actually. What a pity.
Yeah, that damage is going to affect him massively, especially in a straight line and maybe handling as well in some of these corners. But you know what's happened? That's allowed Rafael Dorado to pull away and build up his lead, and Jamie Fluke's up into second. But I don't know if he'll have slight damage that might affect the handling or straight line speed.
Yeah, it's hard to say. I mean, it's it was very close. If there was contact, it was very slight, but the reaction was pretty significant. So it'd be interesting to know if we'll keep a close eye on Jamie Fluke's lap time. This one won't really be indicative, but we'll see how he goes on this lap to see if he's dropped the pace much. But that's a pity, Ryan, because they were Claridge and Fluke were having and Trengaride for that matter, were having a fantastic little dice there.
Yeah, they were, but it's just the nature of this track. Sometimes if you're really close to someone and you try and make a risky move, especially in turn one and turn two, that sometimes it'll bite you. And unfortunately, Mick Claridge found that out as the battle for P9 is going on at the moment between Marco Cooper and Rudy Beeson and PJ Gowdy.
Yep, and you're saying this is our sole Scotsman in the field, Ryan.
PJ Gowdy, I believe, he's Scottish, but he used to live in Scotland, but he moved to America quite some time ago, and he's living in, as you can see on the screen, he lives in New England. So basically a kind of Anglo-Scottish American, if you like.
Ryan DL, maybe.
Yeah.
Brilliant stuff. Well, that's cool. PJ Gowdy then, he is in 11th spot right now. In that I like this colour scheme. It's got a little hint of the Gulf colours in there, the blue and the orange, and then the black there as well. Oh, what's happened here? I think this is Parigi and Schumacher have had an incident, I think. So let's have a look. Alessandro Parigi gets a bit loose, and then he gets a bit of a help over by Schumacher, and back onto his wheels, but will be having big damage there.
Yeah, absolutely. Once you get major damage with this car, it's you're on the back foot from then on. As at the moment, it all seems to have settled down slightly as you look at sixth place man Andre Schumacher at the moment. No relation to Ralph or Michael Schumacher, but still got the famous Schumacher second name by any means.
And also, as you can see there, he's also got a Jackie Stewart Tyrrell paint scheme on his Lotus 49, which is very cool with the elf oil colours on the side of it. Very cool. One of my favourite paint schemes as well. In fact, Ryan, I feel silly. I should have had my Jackie Stewart socks on today. I apologise for that.
That's all good. I've got my GSRC t-shirt on, so I've kind of made up for that in a way.
You're very on brand. I feel really underprepared. I need to get myself a GSRC t-shirt as well. And if you would like to get a GSRC t-shirt, have a look on our GSRC website and go onto our store and you can represent us at the circuit. So lap 8, we're just gone past 1/3 distance here at Imola, and although Andre Schumacher took a bit of damage there, he seems to be carrying on relatively unharmed. And speaking of unharmed, Jamie Fluke, well, he's still in the 138s. He was a 138.6 last time around. Dorado, a 139.4. So Jamie Fluke, if he does have any damage, it's certainly not slowing him down at all. And Dorado, well, that's the last thing he needs to see is his timing delta starting to close.
Yeah, absolutely. And there was two 1,000s of a second separated them on that lap as well. So both of these guys are absolutely on it at the moment, absolutely pushing each other to the limit in a way. Say Dorado trying to push to keep that gap, but Jamie Fluke pushing to try and decrease that gap and catch Dorado as we ride on board with Fluke at the moment, heading up to the hairpin. And Jamie Fluke, he's one of those drivers that he's just got, I don't know if you agree today, Peter, he's got that natural gift that he can just jump into anything and just be like on it straight away with regards to pace.
It would appear so, yes, absolutely. This is incredibly impressive. Of course, Jamie was the 2019 iRacing Petit Le Mans winner, which, as we saw a couple of weeks ago, just getting to the finish of that race is very tough given the ferocity of the action. But look at that, using all the room on the entry of Aqua Minerale and then back on the power again. And tell you what, he's definitely closing Dorado in here. And of course, as soon as he gets to that sort of critical half a second, maybe 6 or 7 tenths of a second away, he'll start to pick up little dribbles of draft, and then he can really start to reel in Dorado. We could be heading for a grandstand finish here.
Yeah, we could possibly indeed. That's a good question as well. If you're Dorado, what do you do? Do you try everything possible to keep Jamie Fluke behind, or do you, even though it's the early stage of the championship, do you just settle for second and take the points? I think if you're Dorado and you've not won a race so far this season, especially after missing out, yeah, you've got to just keep him behind. As the battle he's in as well is going on again.
Okay, and this is, let's have a look then. Geeson and Hisada and Kika all battling away there at Ravazza, the very, very tricky left-hander, but just loses. You've got to be careful making a move there, because it just kills your exit and you lose all that speed down the very long front straight here at Imola. Tell you what, when the World Superbike Championship comes here, it is the speed they reach down there into Tamburello is frightening, and likewise here. But they get through nice and cleanly. I tell you what, Ryan, the respect we see between the drivers in this series is highly commendable.
Yeah, it's a fantastic series with regards to the driving standards and the respect between the drivers. It's especially on the forum, you see all the drivers helping each other with setups and advice, and it's a good thing to see. That's why I love commentating on the series and love the community in general, because it's just there seems to be a lot of respect between the drivers, not just at the front but in the mid pack and at the back of the pack as well.
Indeed, absolutely. And well, the Jamie Fluke continues his quest to reel in Rafael Dorado, and well, 4/10 of a second taken out of him on the last lap, and he is really on a charge. And if he took any damage in that little skirmish with Mick Claridge a few laps ago, maybe it's given a performance advantage, it would appear, because he's just absolutely on a tear, and he puts in another fastest lap, the first to dip under the 138 barrier, 137.954. That is blistering pace.
Yeah, Jamie Fluke's just absolutely on it at the moment, and I think he's just. Jamie Fluke, he's not a really. We've got issues at the moment into the final corner.
Oh, now who is that in the sandpit there? Just missed it on my screen there. We'll come back to you on that one. Who has dropped out of that pack? I wonder. So we'll come back to you on that one. The 22 of Hisada here, having a look up the inside of Kika, and oh, bang! Oh dear me! Oh, that's the 13 of Geisen, gets locked up on the brakes, and now look at that. That is sportsmanship there. He waits for Hisada to take the position back. that was a good example of what we're talking about, Ryan.
Yeah, absolutely. That was great sportsmanship from Yuri Gieson. He slowed down after the incident and realised that it was his fault, and he done the gentleman final of staying still and just letting Kika take the position back and going back. So it's another example of why the series is so good, just because of the sportsmanship. It's like we saw just there.
Very good. So we're now going to look back at the lead, and this is on. This is you don't need a timing screen now. Look at that. This is Dorado versus Fluke. Who will take the crown? Of course, as you rightly mentioned, Ryan, there is a lot of dynamics involved here because Jamie is, of course, it hasn't been racing the full season. Dorado is. He's the championship leader, so he's got to kind of keep. I'm sure that will be at the back of his mind as there's a lap car coming up in front. That will cause a little bit of a complication, but Jamie Fluke appears to just be in such a rhythm now, and that's so hard to stop.
Yeah, absolutely. There's a back marker in the way that gets out of the way just in time. But yeah, Dorado is under pressure now from Jamie Fluke. And if you're Dorado, if I was Dorado rather, I would be thinking about the championship. Don't do anything silly. If Jamie Fluke gets a run and he's up the inside, just let him go and take the points.
Especially given that the driver in second place in the championship, Rob Onayak, he is he's out the race. He's had technical issues, we understand, and there's a good chance for Dorado to take a huge leap in lead in the championship. But Fluke is right on his case. But there's always that racing driver instinct, isn't there, Ryan? When you're in, you say, right, I'm going to take this race easy. I'm just going to gather some points, and then you get in a battle with somebody, and that all goes completely out the window.
Yeah, it's one of those things I've had in endurance races in the past where I say, like, yeah, I'm just going to take it easy, just do my thing and try and keep out of trouble. And then as soon as someone catches up to you and they try to get by you, you start going into that sort of like battling mindset if you like, because you don't want to lose the position. And I think Dorado will be thinking the same as well as we come up to the home straight now, and it looks like Jamie Fluke is real close now, and he's got the slipstream heading down to turn one. It's just a question if he can get the move done or if he can make a move. Oh.
Well, there's your answer. Dorado has got absolutely no interest in rolling over for Jamie Fluke here, and he slammed the door shut confidently there. And I actually don't think Jamie Fluke would have been expecting that, quite honestly. And I think he maybe had to lift out the throttle there because Dorado said, "Yeah, this is my championship, not yours, and I'll show you the way around here."
Yeah, and I thought I was going to end up in contact in the home straight. Which went to try and go for a move there because Dorado went defensive at the same time. But yeah, these guys are racing each hard but fair at the same time.
Indeed it is, as they come through Piratella. Lovely, I love Piratella. It's a great corner. Swooping left, and then you're like, oh no, Aqua Minerale, oh dear. This is so tricky because you're trying to brake and steer and tuck the car in, and the car's going, right, ask me to do one thing, not three things at once, but that's what Aqua Minerale is like. Heading down towards the chicane, Alta chicane. Oh, you've got to be so precise here. And oof, Dorado taking a lot of inside curb there.
Yeah, he is. I'm surprised that's not a slowdown, but if you can get away with it and you can take that much curb, then fair play as they're coming down to the two left-handers now. And Dorado getting a bit sketchy there, and he's starting to really feel the pressure now.
Definitely, you can see that. That's what I love about these cars is you can really see what is going on. Every little input, you can see the car's body language twitching and flicking away, and they go side by side down to Tamburello. We go Lotus 49 side by side to Tamburello. This is what it's all about. Jamie Fluke goes round the outside, swoops in front of Dorado and takes the place firmly but cleanly. Brilliantly executed move there from Jamie Fluke.
Fantastic move. It all started with the exit of the final corner, and he got a great run and got the slipstream on Rafael Dorado, and he was on the inside and head down to turn one. And I think Dorado realised that there's no point doing anything risky and trying to fight a battle that he was basically losing. Yeah,
it was definitely sensible to. I don't think he really had an awful lot of a choice there. That was confident there from Jamie Fluke. So let's look back to the number 22 car of Togo Hisada, who is holding off the number 21 of Terry Worth, who's running the traditional Team Lotus green and yellow colours. And as you'll see there, with the I love that the red steering wheel as well. It's very cool indeed. And Ryan, I don't know if you've been down to the new Jim Clark Museum in Duns.
I haven't been to it. I have heard about it though, and I've heard good things about it. Is we've got a move that Yuri Geese is making a move up the inside into the chicane, the hairpin, sorry, and can he get the move done? He can't get it done, but they're still side by side. But I don't think Geese is going to do anything risky, as he's still up the inside and decides to back it.
Oh, does it? Just closes it off, does Terry Worth, and that's allowed it Hesada to get away slightly. They go side by side into a Minerale. This doesn't fit. Oh, dear, that's close. Oh, but gets the move stuck. Yes, the at the Jim Clark Museum, they actually have a replica of a Lotus 25 shell with a virtual reality headset and simulator where you can go in and drive it, and it even has the matching red steering wheel as well, which is very cool.
That sounds awesome. I'll need to try and get down there at some point. But yeah, the Jim Clark Museum is Yuri Geese is making a move inside into the first left-hander, and he manages to get the move done. Absolutely beautiful.
Very tidy move indeed. Oh, I tell you what's not tidy is this front straight right now. Cars everywhere as Hoodie's on a charge. He blasts by Hesada on the pit straight. Wow, and look at, well, I don't think Hesada will appreciate that one, but he gets no chance to respond. Gowdy very late on the brakes there and nips it back to the apex perfectly. PJ Gowdy, the Flying Scotsman, he is on the charge and he's up to 6th spot.
Yeah, this is the best run of the season so far from PJ since he started racing in this series, and he's having a great run so far, up in 6th position, and yeah, if he can hold on, this, like I say, this will be his best finishing position in the series so far. And PJ Gowdy, it looks like he's been putting in a bit of work in practice.
It seems so. Yeah, he's certainly in the groove now. So we're now starting to get a little bit of a group forming led by PJ Gowdy. There is the 22 car of Togo Hesada, right behind, followed by Geisen, Worth and Olsen. And as you can see, they're only covered by a couple of seconds, but they're all within slipstreaming range of one another, and that's the critical part. So PJ Gowdy will have to be careful here that he doesn't have them all gang up on him. He'll have to lay down some qualifying sectors, but tell you what, he's now got Hesada on his case, who's got a good run out the Alta chicane, heading down towards Ravazza. He ducks to the inside. Is he going to have a try? No.
Oh, someone in the background locks up under braking, and it looks like, I'm not sure who that was, but I thought Hesada was going to throw it up the inside there. But he gets a great run onto the home straight, and PJ Gowdy's starting to run a bit of a train. It's normally they're famous for Jarno Trulli having a bit of a train behind him, but I think this time around we'll call it the Gowdy train.
The Gowdy train. So the 22 of Hesada gets a run, parks it on the inside there. Gowdy gives him the room very cleverly, tries to nick back, and I think he's going to lose 2 positions here because Geisen just swoops by in that pink and white machine, and that was very opportunistic. They come into Villeneuve. Gowdy's been completely mugged here. So that was what we were talking about. To be honest though, Ryan, I didn't think it was going to happen that quickly.
Yeah, neither did I. I think maybe just Gowdy's maybe just not unrattled, but just maybe being a little bit more cautious since he's not been up this close to the front in previous races so far this season. So he's playing it sensible and just not fighting too much. David just wants to make the end of the race and just pick up some points and maybe a possible top 10 position.
Yep, very wise indeed. Not in the top 5 in the championship right now, but with Claridge not taking many points and also All United not having many points, it's all of them count, and we're only about halfway through the season, so plenty of chance left, but no points for being stuck in the barrier. So as we see Geisen in the number 13 pink and white machine, what can he do? Can he put any challenge into Hesada? Hesada gets very loose on the entry there into the first left at Ravazza, but gets a good exit out of the second left and onto the pit straight.
As we ride on board with Geisen at the moment, heading onto the home straight behind Hesada, and I don't think he's close enough. He pulls out of the slipstream, maybe just showing that Hesada is there, but he won't do anything silly. And at the moment, Yuri Geisen currently sitting in 7th position as we head down to turn 1 and turn 2.
Yep, through they go then, nice and clean, nice and smooth. Now, can Gowdy can he recover? Can he go and have another go? Let's have a look at the timing screen just to see what his. Oh, yeah, his outright best pace isn't quite on the same level as the two guys in front of him. So you're spot on there, Ryan. I think for PJ Gowdy, he's just got to think, I'll just get this one to the finish and get that good haul of points, because Quesada and Geisen just got that little bit, about maybe 2 or 3 tenths a lap outright pace ahead of him.
Yeah, absolutely, and yeah, just looking at his battle as well, but just myself anyway, looking back up at the front, and Jamie Fluke has just pulled away massively. They pulled away from Rafael Dorado like crazy, and the gap up to about 2 seconds. So Jamie Fluke, it just seems to he's getting held up by a back marker actually, and hopefully he doesn't lose too much time. But at the moment, he seems to have that edge that's slightly over Dorado when it comes to pace.
That was close. I thought the car was just going to shut his nose off there, but you can see straight away he loses a couple of tenths of a second. But he's got that cushion in hand, so this is now just about keeping it safe for Jamie Fluke, and he will have this victory. And I'll tell you what, it's fantastic as well, Ryan, to have a 38 car field at the same. You look at some of the iRatings of the drivers. There's lots and lots of drivers in the field who have an iRating of over 5,000, which is incredibly impressive. And well, who's that? Oh, goodness me, that was Geisen just having a huge lockup and nearly plows into the back of Quesada. Well, that would have been good for PJ Gowdy anyway, but certainly not for those two in front of him as they pile down into Villeneuve chicane.
Yeah, it could have ended up in disaster, but luckily Geisen managed to get it back together. And in regards to the iRating, it's just absolutely incredible. There's some drivers that you've got the likes of Max Benecchio at iRacing, who's got I believe a 10,000 iRating, which is absolutely crazy.
I think he's up to 11,000 now, apparently, which is just, it boggles the mind. It's not far off 10 times what mine is. As you see, that's why I'm a commentator, as I say. So you just pretend that you know what you're talking about. So anyway, the Quesada in the 22 carries on for now, with Geisen starting to get pretty spicy behind him, just locking up on the brakes, and a little bit of a mistake there on the exit for Quesada. That's going to give Geisen the run. They head down towards Rabaza. 3 laps to go here at Imola. It'll be 2 to go when they go over the line. Oh, Geisen gets the inside line, wiggles on the brakes. Quesada goes for the cutback. But no, Geisen gets the spot, and PJ Gowdy, he's right there to profit from any mistake that these guys make.
Yep, absolutely. And Quesada tried to do the cutback, but he tried to get in the power early. But with these cars, you've got to be really patient, and it's not like modern cars you've got today with traction control or ABS or anything like that. It's more this car. It's all down to the driver, just man and machine basically.
Indeed, it certainly is. A lot of power from that iconic engine, the Cosworth DFV. Incredible, 155 Grand Prix victories for this engine. 12 drivers' titles and 10 constructors' titles. Absolutely extraordinary. And my favourite part of the Cosworth DFV story is Graham Hill's comment when he tested the car for the first time at Snetterton, and he summed it up with, "It really has some squirt," which meant it was really fast.
As the battle for third place is starting to shape up now, as I've got Owe Trevor has been caught by Finland, Mika Lainu in 4th position, and behind Lainu we've got Keeper's too far back. So this battle for third place and the final step on the podium is between the Norwegian and the Finnish drivers.
Yep, it's a Scandinavian showdown here under the Italian sun. And we look at, Prix done really, really well, because the whole front nose section of that car obviously torn off in that incident with Mick Claridge, and he'll certainly be keeping his feet nice and cool, that's for sure. with the front nose missing, but amazing how it hasn't really hampered his pace too much. He's been able to hold third position, but can he hold it to the line from Lino? We'll need to wait and see. But 2 to go here at Imola, and Jamie Fluke still holding the lead confidently. So
the gap at the front is basically 2.5 seconds, but It all seems to have settled down at the front, so that this battle is for the final step on the podium. And I'm quite amazed that Trengrid managed to keep the car on track and they still keep up this pace, like you say, Peter, because I thought not having that front nose section might have affected the handling as Lionel closes right up when they're breaking into the chicane. I think Lionel's best chance if he gets a good exit is on through that home straight.
Yeah, and you got to think that aerodynamically for Trengride's car with that missing front nose section, that's bound to be slowing him down on the straight. So let's see. They come around the double left of Rivazza and then onto the pit straight. But Trengride getting an excellent exit there out of Rivazza. Got the car so straight. It's like the car's got four-wheel drive. Really, really impressive. As we're on to the final lap then, the white flag has flown for Jamie Fluke and he's enjoying a 3.7 second lead at the moment, so looking comfortable for the Northern Irishman, but still, Trengride, he's still defending. Really impressive from the Norwegian.
Absolutely, riding on board from the rear of his car, looking at Lino heading into the Villeneuve chicane and a bit of smoke, so it just shows that Trengride is pushing really hard as they head up to the hairpin now, and I think as we've got a couple of back marks ahead, this could play a factor.
You're absolutely right. It could do, as we see. Here's your winner then. Jamie Fluke wins here in the Grand Prix Legends Series. He's up. Oh, my apologies. There's another Fluke car. Here he is. He's on the last lap. My apologies, dear viewer. Another very similarly painted car. Here he is, Jamie Fluke. Well, hopefully he doesn't make me a liar now. As we come down to the final, the final section. So a double left-hander here to negotiate at Rivazza. Round he comes. And he will, yes. So Jamie Fluke then is your winner here in the Grand Prix Legends Series at Imola. A brilliant drive, hopping into a car that he doesn't drive very often, but takes a confident win by 3.7 seconds from Rafael Dorado. What a drive.
The final step in the podium for this, and it looks like it's going to go the way of Norway's Ove Trengride. And Lino couldn't really do anything, and Ove Trengride gives it a bit of a flick across the line. I was like,
whoa! Oh, dear me. Well, so let's see, we've got battles going up and down the field. PJ Gowdy has got up to 7, so he's got past Hissada. So PJ Gowdy battling with proper Scottish tenacity to the end of this race. They fly through Alta for the final time. And PJ Gowdy, he's got the inside line here. He's got the place. Will Hissada have a look? You know he'll try. He goes to the inside. Gowdy sees him, shuts the door. Will he be able to hang on to it? Oh, what? Oh, I'm totally impartial, but no. Oh no. Oh, Ryan, I don't know about you, but I'm gutted about that.
Oh, it looks like you jinxed him this time.
Oh, PJ Gowdy. Oh, I'm so sorry. Oh, dear me.
Yeah, it was still a great run from PJ Gowdy than alive, but that was nice one, Peter.
Yeah, sorry about that, PJ Gowdy. I'll send you a pack of Tunnocks tea cakes to apologise. We're going to take a very, very short break here on the Global SimRacing Channel. We'll be right back with official results and driver interviews very shortly. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back to Autodromo Internazionale Enzo e Dino Ferrari, or Imola as it's more commonly known. What a race we've just been treated to here in the Grand Prix Legend Series, won by World Championship driver Jamie Fluke, beating series stalwart Rafael Dorado by 4.3 seconds. Ovi Trengeride was third, really good drive from him to basically limp a wounded car home onto the podium. Mikko Leino was right behind him in fourth, followed by Marco Kika, Yuri Geisen, Togo Hisada, Terry Worth, Phil Tyler, and Laust Olsen. And Ryan, you get the honour of reading out our fellow Scot.
Yeah, the fellow Scot, PJ Gowdy, just missed out on a 7th place finish after that spin, but manages to come home in a respectable 11th, with Emmanuel Pereira finishing in 12th, Andre Schumacher finishes in 13th, with Dave Cohen in 14th, Colin Bentley finishes in 15th, with Andrew in 16th, 17th was Antonio Brofa in 17th, Chris Engler 18th, 19th was Michael Grenziger, I probably butchered that, but Gino Massa finishes in 20th.
In 21st was John Olsen, followed by Randy Hoff, Douglas Nelson, David Meyer, Eric Leukel, Robert Reynolds, John Van Dorn, Paul Foster, Sebastian Tizier, and Matthew Maudsley.
And 31st was Jan Liebman, and 32nd was Alessandro Parigi. Mick Claridge had issues, and the rest of the pack were too far back, not classified, or basically retired from the race for issues.
So a number of casualties there, but our race winner, Jamie Fluke, is joining us. Jamie, how was that out there?
Yeah, that was a lot of fun. I wasn't really expecting that. Yeah, a good time was had, qualified in and around top 5, and sorry to Mick for the contact there. I didn't really have anywhere else that I could have went, but yeah, once I got a clear-sighted P1, hunted him down, got the move stuck, and then was able to pull away, which was pretty good.
Absolutely. And of course, most people are used to seeing you racing against guys like Josh Rogers and Kevin Ellis Jr. and Max Benecchi, etc., in the Tag Heuer Porsche Esports Super Cup. How did hopping into one of these, 60-year-old Grand Prix cars feel?
Yeah, totally different challenge. The car doesn't stop. I don't know how people drive this on the regular. Like, getting the car pulled up for a corner is extremely hard work. But it does provide an opportunity at most places to make overtakes because the braking distances are so long. Yeah, no, that was good fun. I enjoyed it, and people seem to race this thing very respectfully, and lap traffic are very kind as well. So yeah, all around very good time.
It certainly looked like it out there. It was good respect from all. Now, of course, you sealed up a strong finish in the championship in the Porsche Tag Heuer Esports Super Cup last weekend. What's next up for you, sim racing wise? What's the next big target?
Good question. So we're back kicking and screaming in that in January, so it's not much of a turnaround. So the winter will just be keeping sharp, doing races on the stream, twitch.tv/Jamie Fluke, just a little plug there, and yeah, helping the guys out with the qualifiers into PESC for next season. So whilst my competitive racing will maybe be quiet for the next couple of months, I'll still be kept very busy.
Yeah, I need to give you a call, and you need to help me out to help me go a bit faster, make my Corvette go a bit faster.
I'll do my best.
So, Jamie, while you're live here on the Global Sim Racing Channel, who would you like to give a shout out to, apart from twitch.tv/Jamie Fluke?
Yeah, absolutely. Like to thank the guys at Apex Racing Team for everything that they do for me and for each other. It's a wonderful organization to be a part of. I'd like to thank all of our Apex branches, so Apex Racing Academy, the Apex Racing TV, the Apex Racing Leagues, and SDK Gaming, and I'd like to thank Computers as well.
Fantastic stuff. Jamie, go and enjoy the win, and we'll see you soon.
Perfect, thank you very much.
So that was Jamie Fluke, our wild card for the day, and Rafael Dorado, our second place driver, is with Ryan Walker.
Yeah, Rafael Dorado started the pole position and was in the lead for the first half of the race, but once Jamie Fluke was in clear air, he just managed to hunt him down. And Rafael, that I know I asked it before at VIR, but was it frustrating to miss out on a win again, or was it just were you thinking of the championship?
No, I'm really happy with today's race. Unfortunately, I didn't have the pace to keep up with Jamie, but I mean, the guy is one of the top team racers in the world, so it's a tough challenge to try to keep up with him. And I just want to congratulate Jamie for winning this race and for coming here and showing how good the pros really are compared to the rest of us normals. And but championship wise, it's good for me because I think I will open a bigger lead now. The drop weeks start counting this week, but I was afraid that I was going to lose the lead because of that. But it seems that unfortunately there were some incidents in the middle of the race, and now I think I should still have the lead. So at least that's a positive for today's race. And the elusive win still not today, but maybe someday.
I mean, yeah, you're really quick. Your pace was really consistent. Was that just a case of putting in the practice, or was it just did you go into the race with that mindset of just don't do anything silly, just hit your marks at every corner and just pick up the points, or is it what was it?
To be honest, I don't think the pace during the race was that good, but I was practicing the whole week and I was doing race simulations. And this race is the first time that I managed to do a full race distance without spinning or crashing or getting a slowdown. So this track is really treacherous. There are a lot of very difficult corners, and it's very easy to get a slowdown or to spin. Those sausage curbs are really killers if you go too much over them. So it was a very challenging race to do, especially when I saw that Jamie was closing in and I was trying to push, but also at the same time trying to balance not making a major mistake myself. But in the end, I think it's a good result. Not ideal, but a good result.
And what did you think of Imola? Was it a good track? Do you think it suits this car, and would you like to see it back on the schedule for next season?
It's not my favorite track. I usually am not very good at chicanes and slow corners, and this track it's basically all chicanes and slow corners. So I knew this one was going to be probably my worst track this season. So I'm glad that we got it done, and I'm looking forward to the next challenges.
And lastly, before we let you go, or anyone you want to give a shout out to?
Yeah, I want to thank Nicola Cochi and Christian Challenger for helping me out on figuring out how to do the last chicane, which is really tricky. And also thank you, Jamie Fluke, for joining our series. It's really nice to be able to race against the pros.
Fantastic. Yeah. Raphael, congratulations on finishing in second. It wasn't the one that you're wanting, but I'm sure it will come at some point this season. And congratulations on second place again.
Thank you very much, Ryan. Thank you for the broadcast, guys.
That was Rafael Dorado, second place finisher, joining us. And I have to say, Peter, that was pretty at times anyway, chaotic race.
Oh, it was an absolute pleasure, and to my first ever Lotus 49 Grand Prix Legends broadcast, and hopefully the first of many with your good self. Thank you very much for your company in the commentary box today, Ryan, and thanks also to the companies that provide all of the software and hardware that make our broadcast possible. They're listed here on your screen, and you can take a note of them if you wish to. An additional thanks must go to June Lalonde as well, who provides all of our wonderful music. You can also see on screen how to get hold of more of her excellent work. A huge thank you to Ryan, Sean and Dougie for their work on today's broadcast. If you'd like to find out more about us here at the Global SimRacing Channel, including our upcoming races, you can find all the information at globalsimracingchannel.com. Or you can check out our social media. We have a Twitter at GSRC Channel, Facebook at Global SimRacing Channel, and even Instagram at GSRC_Gram. And if you want to be a fashion icon like Ryan Walker, you can also represent GSRC by getting hold of some very jazzy GSRC merchandise at gsrc.storeenvy.com. Don't forget to head on over to our YouTube page and hit that big red subscribe button as well, so that you don't miss a moment here on the Global SimRacing Channel. But until next time, race clean, race hard, and we will see you on the track.